Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne. Thank you very much for tuning in today. New and returning, all appreciated. I am doing all the readings for November for all of the signs. And today I'm going to be reading specifically for the beautiful Earth, Mercury ruled sign of Virgo. Welcome Virgos, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury. That is your ruling sign. Mercury is so important. It's one of what we call our personal planets, and it has to do with our communication. Well, it just so happens Mercury is going retrograde, and it will actually start the shadowy period, that happens about 2 weeks prior to the actual event, which will be on November 25th, and then moving through December 15th, and then afterwards the shadow period for another couple weeks. So, we have 3 or 4 of them every year, and it's nothing new. And as I have aged and become more familiar, I like to share some of the important aspects of the Mercuries that I think can be absolutely beautiful. And for you, being ruled by Mercury, as is Gemini, it's really going to be more about recognizing there's probably a little less ability to communicate than normal, and the typical things that the planet Mercury tends to affect, which is movement, moving parts, wheels, transportation, our mind, our thoughts moving, and then definitely technology. So I have readers I watch faithfully, right? And during the retrogrades, I'll look and I'll see them stumbling over words as I do, kind of normally, but also specifically during retrogrades. And I just say, you go, guy, you got this. Girl, guy, it doesn't matter. I'm rooting for them because I understand it's out of our hands. So patience is such a virtue at this time. So it's going to be in your sign. You may notice those things. But I do want to make a very important astrology announcement to you. And then we're going to carry on with the reading, of course. And before I do the reading, I always like to do the chakra check of the day, the saying or message that you can associate with the crystal that has to do with our chakras, and then ending with an oracle message. Okay, so I'm wanting to get these out because last month, for the October readings, I was initially starting my launch back onto YouTube, and it was going pretty well, but yeah, it took about halfway through the month to complete them. There were some stalls in the uploading, which could very well happen now, and I'm hoping not, but do know that I will get them out as soon as I can, and always will have that intention, so you can count on that. Speaking of which, that's what we do with Virgos. You're one of those people, Virgos, that I feel everybody can count on. And I'm wearing, excuse me, a very neutral color for the gloves today. And it's kind of that tan, earthy tone, because I feel like that's what you can be. You don't have to be in the spotlight a lot of times. In fact, I find a lot of Virgos that I know preferring to not be in the spotlight. They'll handle things. People will go to them inevitably for direction or help or guidance, and they'll be there for us. I promise you. I have so many Virgo connections, associates, friends, that any question I may have, they know the answer, or they can certainly find it for me. So love you for that. I feel like you are feeling neutral in general. And a really important thing I was starting to say, I think, was that we have eclipses happening starting in January of 2025. That will be in North Node Pisces and South Node Virgo. So in addition to the transformations that all of us make in our lifetimes, during the time that you have, which is about 18 months, a series of eclipses happening. Those can be the years, and you can look back to reference that, but they have the most transformational aspects to them. And I mean, it can be in any situation, from family, having children, you know, moving, new job, breaking up, marrying, all the lifetime things that you think, wow, quite the year that was, quite the year and a half that was, you know, and always for our betterment, always leading us to the best possible circumstance and people that we can be, should we choose to do that, because it's always free will. But we are being guided, and those eclipses will make some really quick changes. Sometimes it'll take 6 months or more after they occur. We're still actually feeling the effects of the last series of the Aries and Libra, which have, you know, well, Libras was just, the last one was the beginning of the month of October. I'm actually reading these to you the last 3 or so days of October, if I didn't say that. But these are for November. So there's a lot happening in November. I think it's going to be pretty positive for most people. And of course, there's just going to be some challenges, always are, you know, nothing we can't work through, something we can, you know, put under satchel of, you know, situations that we need to work through, and we do. And you, no doubt, you love to make sure that you are doing your due diligence. You're a very intelligent sign, so you make sure that you know, you don't leave anything undiscovered, I guess I'm trying to say somehow. And that's a perfect time when there's a retrograde, because that allows us, when the delays are happening, or there's a postponement of this, or, you know, plans go awry. If you have a business, clients will reschedule. It's inevitable. I have an appointment book in addition to my technical way to have people sign up for their appointments, and man, it's actually laughable. But the Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Sagittarius, so it has a different effect, and that's a fire sign. It has a different effect than a lot of them, and I still think it's going to be positive. I mean, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so there's a lot of positive things happening in November. We are in Scorpio season, and that works really well with you. You know, water and earth energies are very complementary. So it's a good energy for utilizing your time in effective ways, and reviewing, revisiting, you know, reminiscing, relaxing, all the re's that come with the retrograde. So that's an important aspect. We do have the new moon in Scorpio happening on the 1st of November, straight out the boat. Is that a saying, straight out the boat? Well, it means it's happening right at the beginning. And well, that's deep. That is Scorpio. That's the known characteristics of a Scorpio, is to dig very deep and to transform and to rise above it all like the phoenix and start anew and start afresh. And, you know, they're all about life and death and the process and the cycles, and they're that mysterious kind of seductive energy. You know, they have notable eyes, and they have that, you look at them and you kind of feel, oh, kind of really sensual and very sensitive. There's intensity. And of course, during this season of Scorpio, we have the election that happens every 4 years in the United States. So that's approaching. Both Scorpio and Aries, which was a big portion of these eclipses, we're still going to be feeling the effects of. Like I mentioned, the last Aries eclipse will happen in March of 2025, are Mars-ruled signs. So there's that possibility for aggression and, you know, losing one's patience and kind of getting caught up in that energy. But we want to be really careful about that. Sometimes that can go places we never want them to. Knowing that's happening is a great way to be able to just really think about it and choose wisely maybe the arguments or the debates that you choose to get in, because you don't necessarily know how another person is going to react. All you really know is how you can handle or react to any circumstance. So that's just something I want to put out there. The full moon in Taurus is happening. Another really good complementary and cohesive energy for you, Virgo. And that's the money sign. That's the earth sign like you. That's your, you know, fellow earth sign, there are 3 of you, right? There's Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn, and that's happening. Capricorn season is just a month and a half away as well, but we'll get to that later. So I feel like there's some really important revelations coming through. I've known that and felt that for all of the readings, but they've come along pretty well, I would say. A lot of positivity, a lot of breakthrough energy. So let's start with your chakra check. As I've said, if you're new to my channel, chakras are these energy centers that are in our bodies, and they run along the spine from the root to the sacral, to the solar plexus, to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye, to the crown, and then above. Okay, and they are essential for our well-being. When out of balance, we feel it. When there's a blockage, if you will, or you sense some kind of restriction within yourself, it's generally one of the chakras. And so I like to do a check that Spirit wants us to know about. I just simply shuffle these here and just pull the first one that comes up. It doesn't really matter to me, but it's all important. And you might want to focus on this specific one for November. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. My favorite color as well. The 8th chakra. The 8th chakra is the one that unites us all. It's the all-encompassing, all-omnipotent, okay? There's the 7th, which is the crown, and then the 8th that connects us to everything, because we are all connected. And it's been proven so many different ways in this mystical life and the spirit world. And a lot of you watching this know this fully, right? You don't have to see it to know that it's an accurate statement. And so the 8th is really powerful and beautiful, and it just reminds you to always know that when there are times of tension or concern, even for Virgos, who are always the people that, we go to, you too have the ability to ask and receive messages, giving yourself that downtime, taking time in nature. You love nature, you love the earth, you love being grounded and sensible, and you're very, very dedicated and loyal, and you have the same friends for your lifetime. You like the same foods. You are mutable, so you are adaptable to change more than the other 2 earth signs, I would say. But for the most part, you still don't care for change all that much. But what it says for you, and what the card is saying, if you ever want to focus specifically on this connection, this co-creation that's always going on for ourselves, you can say, all that my soul has ever been and will become rests gently in this moment. My soul-filled power is here now. And the Power of Now, which is also a book by Eckhart Tolle, which is out many years ago now. Eckhart Tolle, I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, the Power of Now is exactly that. There's nothing more powerful. I mean, it's not about us thinking about what may happen or what's just happened, but that this present moment, which is everything, and it's all we really have. And so that's just giving you a little idea of maybe having those thoughts, bringing them together if you're feeling less grounded than you would like to. And knowing that the chaotic energy that can occur from eclipses, absolutely, from outside influences, they're real. But what you can do is allow yourself to step back and recognize that our thoughts create our life. And if we feel positive and we have faith in the best outcome in any situation, it'll make a huge difference for the conscious of all, okay? So I'm going to pull the card that goes along with the 8th chakra. And that is, where is that? This is the crown, so that wouldn't be it. But I'm wondering if there is a card. I want to say there is. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3. There's not. They don't have the card here, which is perfectly okay because it speaks for itself, and all the crystals are involved when it has something like that, because crystals are pretty incredible. I've never been without them, but the reason I was pulling the card is because I've got all these beautiful crystals that was given as a gift, that I put for the readings to help, you know, bring strength and protection and everything, depending on what the card has said. But because it's not showing one specific, I'm going to keep it with this beautiful red, what was this called? It's for the root chakra, and that makes a lot of sense because you're about the ground. You're about that earth energy and being solid and being, you know, grounded in the present moment. Let me read it to you. The presence of spirit is solidly rooted in my body. I have the right to be here, and my love is abundant with love, comfort, and vitality. So it's really gorgeous, but what I really want to do is find out what's red jasper. That's what's in here now, okay? So we're going to keep that because it's very appropriate for you being an earth sign. And still learning as I go along with these, but love this gift. It's one of the best ones I've had. I'm sorry, sweetheart. My cat's down there and it kind of... Are you okay, Bo? It just rolled by him. He's keeping his energy here for us and helping us out as well. His name is Eclipse. And he's my love. And this also has all of the chakras too. So it's really pretty gorgeous, right? There's the red right there for the root and the crown and the throat and the sacral chakra, the, not sure, but I love it. So let's go on with the reading. What do you say? I digress. So we're going to do a different layout. This, if you've not seen October's, I would love you to check those out, okay? And just let me know what you're thinking so that I can work with my community and find out, you know, best ways to help you and help you to understand. I have a really, I think I dreamt it, and it came very clear to me that I want to do a mini series that I'll do in addition to the monthly readings. And it's going to be about compatibility because that's something that I've studied and been a part of for so many years. And the basics, for those that don't really know anything about the differences and the compatibility between a lot of the signs. But yeah, stay tuned for that. And once again, thank you for watching and taking the time. Now, I have a different format. Last time I did the layout, that was the Celtic Cross. I'll come back to it. It's one of my favorites. But this month, for time and just to be, you know, changing and trying different ways to share with you the messages, I'm going to do a 5-card layout. And the first card is going to be the overall energy for you, Virgos. The second card represents your love life, your relationships. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it certainly can be. And may I just say, with the eclipse energy still affecting us of Libra and Aries, it has been very prominently about relationships because that is exactly what rules Libras, basically being ruled by Venus. And we just got out of Libra season. We are now, of course, in Scorpio. But it's lingering and it's really heart-centered, and it could be friendships, family, and everything else. It's reconsidering, it's reconciling, you know, all of these things. You might have people coming from your past with the retrograde too, coming through pretty strongly right now. We'll see what the messages have to say. The next card represents your finances, your job, your, you know, what you do and what your value is and how you present yourself to people, to the world. Following card will be the possible outcome. And then I have the last card I like adding, which is what I call the wild card. A lot of times it has its own information, own, you know, messages, but other times it just works so synchronistically with the rest of the reading. So it excites me to see that and what Spirit has to say for the storyline here. So I'm using this wonderful deck this month, as I will change them every month. And then once I've gone through them, I'll recycle yet again. And it's called the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. And they're beautiful, very beautifully illustrated. And I just have a really good vibe about it. And there's a lot of intuition coming through with Scorpio season. Water signs in general, you know, Cancer and Pisces as well. I hadn't really focused on it, but that Pisces energy that came through with the partial lunar eclipse, the latter part of September, That's your polar opposite, Virgo. That really stirred some important creativity juices in you, inspiration, spirituality, as I think I mentioned earlier. So you might be really in tune to that. You might be getting dreams or downloads yourself. Let's see what the overall energy is for you for the reading now, okay? And what we have here is the Four of Swords. Okay. You know, I said neutrality, and I brought that up, and I felt that before coming in. I love doing that. I kind of play a game with myself to see what's going to work and what kind of will work for the readings. And, well, the Four of Swords is the air elements. The swords represent the air, and that is Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. But the Four of Swords, if you can see, you've got this one person holding one just above the shoulder, you know, kind of prepared and ready, armed, if you will, with the three behind. Now, in the Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation, there's a person who's relaxing and laying down and restoring is really the big word that the takeaway I get from it. And at the same time, with the Rider-Waite, you have what looks like a stained glass window associated with, in my mind, from being a born and raised Catholic from back then. And it represents this always knowing that you are protected, you are healing at this point. You may be healing from something that had affected your body. I'm not a doctor, but it's just indicating it from the energies and the messages. And you're ready to, you know, you're starting to feel alive again. You know, you're not rushing though. And that's perfect for the retrograde because it's time for the relaxing. So giving yourself a break, you know, you work hard, you think you're you work really hard to the point where sometimes, you know, you forget about taking those breaks. And I think sometimes it gets to where you think, oh, okay, now I don't feel so great. So I would just invite everybody to make sure you don't get to that point. It looks as though that's past and you're coming back. You're just like, okay, I'm not going to rush though. There's no need. With Mercury retrograde, it would be kind of futile at times. Going with the flow is the best thing you can do. And I like that as an overall energy. It's very, very suiting and fitting for the energies. So then we have the love of self, family, friends, romance, and you have chance. Wow. And that's the 10. That is a major arcana. I'm thinking to myself because I have never pulled chance since I've been using this deck. So I'll look for it very quickly for you. But what would that equate to in the Rider-Waite? What would you say right off the bat? I want to say Fool. I don't have a clue. Let me just look. I don't really need to be guessing. I'll just find out the answer for you. But I love it. It looks as though there's this beautiful, like the moon, the full moon, which, by the way, we just had, you know, in Aries, and now we're getting the new moon in Scorpio on the 1st of November. But you were holding on to it. There was something that really resonated with you, or some information that really took, and maybe it was disheartening and it made you want to just kind of like stop and really think and before proceeding in some manner. Let's see what chance says. Maybe you took a chance on something and it ended up with a different outcome than you had hoped. We're almost there. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, of course it's the Wheel of Fortune. Hello. Well, this could be fantastic. Now, this has a lot to do with karma, and it has a lot to do with time, because the wheel, you know, represents time for us. It also has all the fixed signs. Am I mistaking that with the world? I might be. Let's negate what I just said. What I love about this is that whatever has been going on, it's coming in for a change, okay? So if you felt like things had slowed down, you were resting, you didn't feel well, and all the things that the overall energy was, you know, explaining to us, well, that's changing. You've got some beautiful prosperous and abundant energy and good luck. Now, Jupiter went into retrograde, the benevolent planet of luck and expansion and growth and all the wonderful things that we aspire for, we dream about, we, pray to manifest. Well, that has been in the sign of Gemini. And it went retrograde on October 9th, and it will be there, I think, through January. It doesn't matter. It lessens the energy a little bit, but it's more of an introspection type of energy. And I think you have some real strong plans as to how you want to move forward, Virgo, with the resting that's occurred, with the strength that's rebuilding, with the energies of this beautiful new moon and the ability to write down your intentions and really, really feel it strongly within every part of your cell and body. And wonderful things can just come out of the blue sometimes, that is how it works. And then the money aspect of this whole moon in Taurus, you might be getting offers that you don't see coming now, financially, always regarding relationships, but maybe this relationship or a partner you're already involved with is coming into money, and that can always be a beautiful thing for you too, right? So Scorpio representing the 8th house is other people's money. It's all these things. It's taxes, and it's death and rebirth and all the taboo topics that people don't want to talk about, but they're absolutely a part of life, right? Scorpio has no problem dealing or facing these kind of realities. So, and, making sure that they are not kidding themselves or wearing rose-colored glasses. So, I don't know what it is. I can't say. There's too many variables, but I really like it. It can be a very positive thing. Let's see what it shows as far as money and, job or income or resources. Okay, it's good. It's really good. It's definitely going to be good. You've got the sun, one of the most optimistic, beautiful, energetically, full tilt, positive cards in the zodiac, okay, and in the tarot. So yes, as a storyline goes, the energy had been lacking. You were holding back somehow. Maybe it was physical, like I said. Maybe you were recovering. Maybe you had a loss of something. I don't know, but I know that that's absolutely changing, and November is going to be a very, very amazing, transformative month. And then it just proceeds on when you have these eclipses happening. So prepare for that and write down the intentions by all means as to what you visualize happening, because that's so important, and you have that ability. We all do. So that's amazing. And as we go on, the possible outcome is Temperance, and that's a really good one. Now that represents another major arcana though. So you've got 3 in a row here. That's very powerful as well. That's Spirit really saying, okay, listen and take in this beautiful message and allow the good things in, okay? Don't hesitate, don't wait, just allow it in. And Temperance is representing Sagittarius, which, I mentioned that is the Mercury retrograde will be in Sagittarius, and then we enter into Sagittarius season, and that's around the 22nd of November. So, there's that alchemy of changing water to wine, or silver to gold, for heaven's sakes, with the sun and this chance card of who knows, the lottery. You play a lottery ticket or two, what the heck. There are times when the energies work in that favor, and that's when you got to grab it, because somebody's going to win, right? Well, that's gorgeous. And being moderate and temperate, which you're very good at doing anyway, Virgo. I don't really have to verse you much on anything ever, but that's just keeping and reminding you. Spirit wants you to know as far as that goes, because you might overdo it. You tend to work extra hard and stuff. So this is allowing you to not go back to maybe not feeling well in some capacity. And the wild card. Let's get to the wild card. The 5 of Swords. Okay, well, this is very important, and it makes perfect sense, and it's not the first time that it's come up in the readings for November. Because this has to do with strife, and it has to do with our communication, and it has to do with conflict. And it could be inside, it can be eternal. I mean, a lot of times internal, not eternal. It has to do with our own battles that we are constantly, you know, maybe being a little rough on ourselves. Maybe our self-talk is not exactly lovely. But in this case, I'll be honest with you, I think it has to do with what's up and coming in the next week or so. And you're going to hear a lot of possible agitation and irritation and anger and aggression, okay? It is in the alignment of the stars and the planets, but it's also because we have, as I mentioned, the election, and you know, someone's going to win and someone's going to lose, and it's not going to make a certain percentage of people happy, and the other percentage it will, so you know how that goes. That's yet to be determined. The best thing you can do is remove yourself from anything that clouds your ability to visualize the best for yourself, to feel the happiest you want to be. That's a question of protecting yourself. I always add that protection of gold and egg around me every day before I do my massages. A couple of times I have not. I have absolutely felt it. Just mentioning it because it's always a very important thing to do when it's outside of ourselves, which is, it happens on a daily, right? So that's the wild card, but it's just there to say, what an amazing month. Any outside influences do not have to influence you. And you're strong, Virgo, and you're capable of not allowing that. So, you know, conversations can be short, to the point, and that's all I'm going to say with that. What a beautiful set of cards. What a change of energy, right? Well, that's what happens in our daily lives. From one moment to the next, you just don't necessarily know. But you have a lot of beautiful, beautiful possibilities coming your way, should you care to utilize that. I'm going to finish with, like I said, your oracle message, Virgo, and this is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart. And it's just a word or two just to kind of commence the reading. But once again, thank you for your time. I appreciate you, and I really do appreciate those that have decided to subscribe and like and share, because this is my passion. You know, I have my job as a massage therapist. I'll be doing it another 2 years, and then I want to do readings for as long as I can talk. Okay, and that's, who knows how long, right? You never know. But your help is deeply appreciated. Deeply appreciated, yes. So in closing, your message is detach. Well, I love that. And it's number 11. That's a master number. And detach is exactly what you want to do from anything that you know intuitively and instinctively is not for your best interest. The energy, as I said, is the wild card. Goes very well with this. Simply detach yourself from it. Okay, we all have that capacity. And I've known for myself that Virgos can be extremely good at that, you know. So keeping that grounded energy and looking into the positive sides of things is going to go a long way for you. And you've got that bird of peace, you know, be the peace you want to see. And I don't know, have a beautiful, beautiful November. I hope to see you again for the December readings. Until then, have a beautiful Thanksgiving if you celebrate it, and bye for now.